morning, friends, and welcome back to A Moment with Hales. We are going to be doing a garden tour today. We are hitting that sweet spot in the season where we have a lot of things producing, and I think we might have a tomato or two. Also had something kind of very devastating to me, very sad, something that happened in the garden on Thursday that I'm going to show you guys. And I haven't been able to bring myself out here since I saw it from afar. And here we are, so we're going to check it out together and see what the rest of the season is going to look like for my cucumbers and my melons. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the garden tour. First, let's talk about the green beans. I've had two, you can see some are over there. I've had two different harvests from my green, or maybe three actually, and it looks like quite a few popped out overnight. You can see those here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick some of these green beans. Just a reminder to those that are trying to save seeds. So I buy heirloom seeds. I don't so much look for organic, but I look at heirloom when I'm doing my seed buying. And this half of the bed here was done by new seeds that are heirloom. This half of the bed here were done by seeds that we actually saved from last year from heirloom seeds. Saving seeds for green beans is so easy. These have been out here and they are drying just naturally. I didn't even mean to leave them, but they're drying. And when they completely dry, like this one's really close, when you can actually shake it and you feel the seeds move, you know that they're ready to be harvested. And green beans, you can just save the seeds, throw them in a bag, keep them and put them in the ground the following year. And they're really easy to save. So I have some that are yellowing already that I'm just gonna leave in here. Let me see if I can find some. So like this one here is the big one. It's already yellowing. I'm just gonna leave this in here, this one as well. And I'll just let those brown, this one too. And I will go ahead and just let them brown and then go ahead and harvest the seeds when they are ready to go. So if you're looking to save seeds or want to plan for next year, if you have a good round of heirloom green beans, these are the easiest ones to save in my opinion. And by saving seeds, friends, this is how you don't fall for the propaganda of food shortages. At least when it comes to vegetables, if you have heirloom plants in your garden and you are harvesting the seeds year after year, there's no way there's going to be a food shortage for you as long as you have heirloom seeds. I think I'm seeing a lot of people online post about gardening and they're like, oh, I grew a 75-cent tomato, yay, which it's true. It's not gonna save you a ton of money. Gardening is not a way to save a ton of money in the short term, but it's a way to know that you have a sustainable food resource for yourself, which I know it is kind of funny. Like you have your wife sit out here and invest hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars in garden beds, dirt, seeds, all these things to harvest a 75-cent tomato, which I get the irony of it. But when it comes to gardening, what I like about it is I know it's sustainable. Some of these plants will be able to feed your family for years to come just based off saving seeds. So it's not so much about saving money, where in the long term, maybe I would save money because I'm not gonna have to buy seeds anymore or vegetables anymore in certain things. But at the same time, it's more about having the self-sufficiency and learning how food grows and be able to share seeds with friends and families and heirloom plants so everyone can have food for years to come. Now, for those who have watched my garden tour videos, you know that my trellises were my pride and joy. This year, I wanted to make sure I had my trellis actually meet at the top. I've never had that happen. With my cucamelons, it happened. It looks really beautiful. This trellis is just so full. But I did have another trellis and I was really excited about it. It was my melon and cucumber trellis. If you've been watching, you see I've done a lot underneath it because it's my first really great trellis, but it collapsed in the rainstorm. So let this be a lesson to everybody who's watching. I wanted to use a cattle panel trellis. My husband felt like what we had was sufficient and it wasn't. So everything still looks pretty intact. I don't think there's been a lot of damage to the actual vines. And I think it's time for me to just bite the bullet and look under here to see if any melons are ready. I know there's some cucumbers, so let me just crawl under there and I'll go ahead and bring you guys with me. So this melon looks like it's close. You can see these tendrils are browning, but not quite dead. And it's not splitting at the bottom. So I'm gonna let this melons stay under here. This cucumber back here is ready, so let me cut that. I'm also seeing, I don't know if you guys can see that, cucumber is ready to go. And it looks like there's a couple others up there and over here that are ready. So I don't see any melons that are ready yet. You can see that tendril at the top is still looking good. All right, I got 4 cucumbers here. So I see some more there on the other side that I'm gonna try to get, but I'm looking, I don't see any melons that are ready yet. This is what my herb bed is looking like right now. A little chaotic, but I would say organized chaos. So let's talk about herbs for a quick second. I wanted to bring herbs into my garden for a variety of reasons. I knew you could make a lot of stuff with them. I also know they can bring your culinary dishes up to the next level. Fresh herbs just taste a million times better than what you'll get at the grocery store. I brought dill specifically into my garden. We have dill here, it's flowering, you can see that. I brought dill in for pickles. So we like to make pickles with our cucumbers, and I like to come out here and get fresh dill. I also have a ton in my freezer as well. That's gonna be kind of fun to have throughout the year. Next, I brought in parsley. So parsley I like because I'll use it on my chicken dishes. I'll also throw it in the crock pot with pretty much anything I'm cooking in there. I use it on my roast as well. But a ton of different recipes call for parsley. Parsley is actually really good for dogs, they say, for their teeth and for their breath if they have breath issues, which little dogs do. So I'll chop this up and put it in my dog's food as well. You also can dry it, which is nice, and just keep it throughout the season. So I'll have fresh parsley dried from my garden for all of winter for sure with the amount that I have. The next herb that I brought in was mint and spearmint. I did that for a couple different reasons. One, I did it because it supposedly grows like really easily and it spreads like a weed, which it really does. I also brought it in because I wanted to make my own teas. So I like to have something minty. So I will be drying this and making my own tea as well. You can do different iced teas with mint. People will put mint in their ice cubes in their tray and put like just a little mint in their infused water. And I'm excited to have nice mint from my garden in those cool or cold winter evenings, have a nice cup of tea from my garden as well. Next, I brought in oregano. So oregano is a great spice to use for all sorts of dishes. I feel like so many recipes call for oregano, whether it's dried or fresh. Fresh definitely will bring it to the next level in your dishes. Fresh oregano is really good. Oregano actually also works as like an antibiotic, like a natural antibiotic. So oregano oil is really good for you as well, just to have on hand for different things. So I am going to try to make some oregano oil. I'm gonna see what I can do to figure that out. Chickens, actually, it's good for them to have oregano as well because it works like an antibiotic. So sometimes I'll just put this in their water, or I'll chop it up and put it in their food too, and they'll eat oregano as well. The next herb that I brought in, which I've grown for a long time, is basil. So basil grows really well. I'm in zone 7B and basil grows really well here. I have like basil bushes by the end of the season. Basil is good because I'll use it to make pesto. Fresh pesto is so good and it's really easy to make, and you can freeze it and use it all throughout the winter. So that's a nice thing. I also love the smell of basil. I love basil. I will put this on my pizza too. I'll do a mozzarella basil tomato pizza. That's really good. My favorite thing though is bruschetta. So when I have tomatoes, which it looks like I have a few that are almost ready, when I have tomatoes, basil, and mozzarella on homemade bread that I made in my bruschetta, it is good. I dream about this in the winter, but it's a really good herb to have in your garden. The next herb I brought in was brand new to me, and a lot of people that I know that I would consider crunchy like this herb. It's called lemon balm. I had never heard of it before, but it sounded really cool. And it smells good, so I was like, let me go ahead and bring this in. You can throw it in anything. It might have a little more citrusy flavor, but you could use it pretty much on any dish just to elevate it. It's also pretty. You can use it as a garnish too if you'd want to. People will make tea out of lemon balm, so you can do it fresh, like just put it in there, let it seep, and then I think you do it overnight and you have kind of like an iced tea. You also can do it hot as well if you want to dry it, or you can use it fresh too. They say lemon balm is really good for anxiety. It's good for the body to handle anxiety. It's good to calm us. You can also use this in a bath. They say go ahead, throw fresh lemon balm or dried lemon balm in your bathtub. You can soak in it as well. It also is good for repelling bugs. So when I'm out here in the garden, sometimes I will just take the leaves and just rub them on my arms and legs. I do feel like it helps. There are some actual formal like recipes you can use to go ahead and create your own insect repellent that's natural, but I do like to use this when I'm out here in the garden. The other thing I'm going to make, hopefully today, is lemon balm shortbread cookies. So it's like a lemony shortbread cookie. So I am gonna see if I can try that. If I do, I'll try to remember to put it in the video. But yeah, lemon balm is a fun one that I added in, and apparently people love it and I'd never heard of it. Next one that I brought in, which I think is like a fan favorite everywhere, is lavender. So who doesn't love lavender? Oh, it smells so good. Oh my gosh, I'm waiting for the actual flower to open. I haven't had it open yet, and I've been picking it, but you can do a lot with the leaves. I'm going to try to make a lavender oil. Right now I have a rose oil going, and I'm gonna try to do a lavender oil with the actual lavender leaves and see if that works. I'd like to do an oil lavender like perfume for myself, so we'll see if I can figure that out. And then lavender too, you can dry, you can use it for culinary purposes, you can throw it in your bathtub. You can actually make lavender syrup, like simple lavender syrup out of the flower buds. So I am gonna try to do that because I love a lavender latte or lavender lemonade. So there's a lot you can do with lavender, and it's just beautiful. So this is a good one. Kind of tying lavender in, I did grow eucalyptus this year, which is really exciting. I cannot believe, let me pick one for you. Look at this, it's actually eucalyptus. So I may try to make some oils out of my eucalyptus. If you see Charles is coming in here, you can see Charles. I am going to possibly try to make some oils, but I will just go ahead and enjoy this as it is in a vase, and then I'll let it dry and probably put it in my shower when it's dried, so I can still have like the eucalyptus smell when there's steam. But I love eucalyptus. There's so many different things you can do with eucalyptus, but this kind of goes hand in hand with lavender. So now let's go ahead and look at the tomatoes because I want bruschetta. So this is when my garden is getting a little chaotic, which is a good thing. I really like it. But I do see I have a few tomatoes here. So I have this tomato, which the top doesn't look great, but it looks like two almost merged together. So this is it's heavy too, it's a good one. And then I also have this tomato as well. I went ahead and picked this one. I tend to pick my tomatoes early because they will continue to ripen, and go ahead and leave them on your windowsill. I usually put them upside down. The problem with tomatoes is when it rains a lot, they split. So we have had really unpredictable weather this season. It's been kind of weird. And I think that's why this is causing some splits on these. But tomatoes split really easily. So if I know rain is coming, I'll go outside and pick as many tomatoes as I can, even my cherry tomatoes, before the rain actually hits. These are my first big tomatoes for the season. They are taking forever this year. Sticking with the tomato theme, this needs to get cleaned up so badly, but this is the indeterminate tomato plants that I grew. And if you can see, the sugar baby watermelons have started to grow over the tomato plants, which I don't know, this garden, this year I just let it get out of control. I guess I just felt like letting it get wild. You can see that watermelon right there in the back too, that's growing on top of the plants. And these, I still don't know what variety of tomatoes these are, but they're supposed to be yellow. So I will have a ton to harvest out here. So I will come out here, and this tomato plant, I prune anything that's dead. So this tomato plant has a ton that I need to prune, but it's still doing well. They're definitely all over the place, but they're producing. And sticking with the sugar baby watermelons, it looks like they are still doing really well. So let's check on the two. Here it looks like I have that one, and you want to wait until the closest tendril is brown. So for this one, you'll see this is going to be, or this one of those two is going to be the closest tendril, not browning at all, not ready. And let's look at this one here. This one's still really small, closest tendril, definitely not ready. This one back here is my biggest one, I think, and I'm trying to find, this is where this tendril up here is maybe the closest, and it's browning. I mean, I don't know, I'm gonna give it a couple more days, but this one I think is gonna be ready to harvest pretty soon. I guess the name of the game this garden season is out of control. So that was my corn stalk, but the watermelons have completely overtaken them, which is wild. But let's see if we can find some watermelons and even potentially pick some corn. Okay, so unfortunately this one is not gonna make it. It's completely rotten and waterlogged, so that's a bummer for that watermelon. Let's see if there's some other ones. Oh gosh, I just hit one with my foot. Okay, here's one. So these are gonna get much bigger than that, so it's definitely not ready, but we have that one there. I think there's one back here. Yep, that one's still looking good. I see we have a little baby here. We'll see if that one survives. I see another one here. That one's looking good, and I think, yep, here's another one back here. That one's looking good. There was one hanging on the corn, so I'm thinking that one took the corn down, but let's look at the corn and see if we have anything ready to pick. When it comes to corn, they say that the top needs to be brown. So when these were tucked in, I mean, I saw the top was like a little bit brown, but these are still really small. I don't think they were ready yet, but let's look at them and see. Oh, so last year I had tiny corn too. So we have our tiny little corn here. I feel like that looks good. The back doesn't look like all of that grew, but I feel like that one looks ready. This is what I have so far for the corn. So I think it's not quite ready, but it's almost ready. It's getting there, but this is the corn that I was able to get. They're very small. I think the corn that I planted is going to be very small if it's successful at all due to the watermelons. But I might use these a little bit for something. I don't know, we'll see. I've talked about this before, but I'm a big advocate for someone, even if you don't have a lot of space, to try to grow plants in pots. So we added some peppers to some pots this season, and I moved them over here because this gets more water than where they were, but I feel like this pepper is ready, right? I haven't had a good pepper, and this is looking great. So maybe I'll leave it for like a couple more days, but I'm getting excited because I've only had like 1 or 2 green peppers. Here are my other pepper plants, and I have said before, I'm just not a big fan, but there's a tiny little one starting. They're not producing for me like I see them producing for other people. So there's that one. This plant has one little flower on it, so maybe we'll get another pepper. This plant looks like it has a couple more flowers coming out. Again, I just am not really impressed with the amount of peppers. Oh, here's one. So this pepper, it's not rotting at the bottom, which is rare for me. I've been having black at the bottom of all my peppers. So I think I'm gonna pick it. Here's a little update of my pumpkins. They are still coming along, but I do have cucumber beetles, so I'm a little bit nervous. I'm gonna put some neem oil on them, but they're looking good so far. I do have one little flower here, but I'm seeing a lot of eggs on these. Also, you can see their tendrils are crawling, which I think is so cool. And I don't know what this plant is, but it's here, so I left it. I thought it was a potato, but I'm thinking it's not. But this is what's going on with my pumpkins. I did have my little sunflower patch grow, which is cute. So I'm happy with how that turned out. And that's all we have for today, friends. Thanks for watching my little garden tour. I hope you enjoyed it and picked up some tips and tricks from me to your garden. Again, the best part about gardening is just starting. There's gonna be some things that grow really well, and there's gonna be some things that don't go well. Every season is a different challenge. As you can see this season, I've had some interesting challenges, including my collapsed trellis as well. So every year is a new gardening adventure, and I hope you're enjoying yours. Happy weekend, friends, and I'll be talking to you soon.